I just wanted to bring up some people that have inspired me over the time. If you don't know who these people are, look them up. David Goggins. I bought his book. I've watched many podcasts with him. He is an incredible human being. Wes Watson, another one. Jocko Willink. Hopefully I said that right. And there's another person I want to talk about. I saw him on a podcast that I could not believe what he was doing. It's it's crazy, some of the things some of these people do. It's almost like superhuman stuff. But yeah, like those four, I will watch as much as I can. Recently, it's been mainly Wes Watson. He does run a program that I don't buy in. Have not bought into. I don't really buy into programs or anything. I'm not going to say they don't work. He claims it works, but I just don't do that. I'll buy books and stuff like that and read through them when I can. But he's very inspiring just from his YouTube videos, his 8-minute videos he throws out. And he puts out a lot of hard truths for people, especially about sobriety and how you have to cut out these vices. And he's brutal about it, but it's a good thing. And like when you watch him, like he has very high energy, and I love it. And I listen and I try to apply it. But he does make it clear that like you have to drop the alcohol, the weed, the nicotine, to like elevate. And I was already in the process of that before I found his content. So like I was already like a step ahead. And it ain't like I follow it or anything, but I'll use it as motivation. I was already on my own path with this stuff. But he spent 10 years in jail. He got out when he was 35. Super successful dude. I guess he was successful pre-jail, but it was like drugs and a rough, illegitimate lifestyle. Now he runs. He has like an empire for like self-help and like motivation, and he teaches people. And he very successful dude. I watch him. Sometimes he's very flaunty with his possessions, but like he's clear, like he doesn't care about it really. He can go back to zero and all this. He's my kick right now. But like David Goggins, was obsessed with him, read his book, still am. The dude, he's just a beast. The amount of running he does, the branches of the military, he's went to the top tier, Navy SEALs, all that. Read up on him. He just does not stop, and he has like such a very, very hard mentality with things. Like he's very mentally strong, and he talks about that kind of stuff. Jocko Willink is like the same type of background. They're all great for motivation, military background, very high tiered individual, all very successful people. I should look this fourth person up right now and credit them. I don't remember their name. I don't remember exactly where they were, but basically he'll go out on these excursions, and I'm going to be very vague and probably off with these numbers, so I apologize. I watched a podcast, must be a couple years ago now. It was a Rogan podcast, but man, he's done thousands of podcasts. The guy, he took a tent and like all these rations on like this big like hiker's backpack, and some Iceland where it was really cold, like negative weather, and it was all like straight. I get like tundra, right? Like just straight just miles upon miles of just nothing but ice and like wind and just crazy environment, right? And he explained how he went through it. Like he would just hike through it, and then he would tack his tent down, and he would eat his rations at night and do what he had to do. And he did this for like 30 days straight. It could be longer, could can't remember exactly, but it was like severe weather conditions. And I guess if his tent, when he was setting it up, if it would have blown away one single time out of the like 1 to 3 times he put it up per day, he would have died out there. And like, I guess multiple people do this kind of stuff. And he went through it, and he describes flow state, which can be applied to a lot of things. It's when, like, he explained, like, each day felt like an hour, and, like, a week felt like less than a day, because he was in this such, like, survival mode where his brain, it's just when you're, like, you're zoned in so much, it's like a flow state, right? If you don't know what it is, look it up. And he was so honed in that, like, time just sort of melted away. And the risk he was taking was how, like, he was just flirting with death the whole time and doing things that, like, 99.9% of the population would not do. It just blew my mind. Unfortunately, I cannot remember his name. I should have dove into this and got some information, but it's just wild to me. Like, I don't think I would go out there for a week and try that. You know what I mean? That tent goes, you're essentially not going to survive. You're going to freeze to death. But the way he explained it was incredible. It could have been longer than 30 days too. This is probably misinformation on the whole topic. It's been years. I just wanted to give a brief rundown on how, like, people do some hardcore things. And, you know, I would love to be as hard as David Goggins one day, but I'm never going to say never, but dude, that guy's on a whole other level. Probably never, but I use him to inspire me. Same with Wes Watson. Like, I might not agree with everything these guys say, you know, but man, they do jack me up. Like, when I listen to them before a workout or like during the day, I love their message, and they give me a reminder. You know, Goggins was like big and over 300 pounds, not really working. Like, he was in a real dark place when he was younger, and he dug out of it and just became a beast of a human. Wes Watson too. I mean, money wasn't always like an issue to that guy, but the way he got out of jail and just crushed it. You know, he just had that mentality, and he just doesn't stop. And he talks about getting up early, and 2:30 a.m. he sleeps 4 to 6 hours a night, and he's just constantly grinding. You know, I respect it. I get up early, I grind, but dude, I am so tired by the evening. That guy just goes and goes and goes. And he's almost 40. And it's wild to me that I use him as a source of, like, okay, he did this at 35. I don't know how his family was financially. I don't know if he had help. He claims not, and I don't think he did. He's just a baller, dude. And it motivates me because he's 3 years older than me, and he did this within a span of 4 years, right? I don't know if there's any outlying factors or investors or people he knew, but you got to respect the hustle. You don't have to agree with all his material stuff. You don't have to agree with his, like, program he brings up, and how much energy he has. But the message is awesome. That's all I'll say. All these guys, but they're the 4, like, fitness, like, motivators for me. And yeah, I just wanted to share them. Maybe you can look them up. I'm sure you know of these people. Wes Watson, Jocko, and Goggins, they're super well known. Wes Watson, I'm not sure, but I'm glad I found him. And I found him through a Sunny V2 video. It's a channel, if you don't know who that is, he does, like, top 10s, or, like, he'll cover, like, a basis of people, and he'll explain them, and you know what I mean? He's pretty popular, but he covered Wes Watson, like, YouTubers that were in jail or something, and he explained that, like, he got his stuff together and he's still very successful. And I'm like, I'm gonna check this dude out. He looks jacked. Is there any steroid use? I'll leave that up to you to decide. It doesn't really matter, but the message is there. But yeah, that's about it. Oh, happy Memorial Day weekend.